This week's Video Gamer UK podcast is sponsored by Traybro. Traybro is a free mobile application dedicated to connecting gamers across the world. Often described as the Tinder for gamers, Traybro are on a mission to match gamers with their perfect gaming ally. Hello and welcome to the Video Gamer UK podcast. If you're not having a good day, I hope this turns it around. My name is Simon Miller and today I'm joined by Alice Bell.
Hello.
Stephen Burns.
Hello.
And Tom Ori.
Hello.
I haven't been on this podcast, but it feels like 72 years.
It's been a while.
I know, I'm sure some people are like, oh great, look who's back.
No,
that guy.
They're upset when you're not hosting
Oh,
it.
I don't know about that.
And then when Jim hosts it, they're like, what's going on with Jim? What's happening here?
Why is he talking about his friend's penis again?
It does go off on tangents, but I imagine people like tangents.
Some people really like it.
Yeah, people like tangents. They like to. It's like a journey that you don't know. It's like if you got in the car to drive down the motorway, but you weren't 100% sure where you were going. Then you ended up on a lovely beach.
Yeah. Well, I saw a comment from someone once who was like, "Simon's really matured into an amazing podcast host." Once, so
someone said that about me.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Wow, look at that! Now the pressure is on, and I feel terrified. Tom, how are you?
Fine.
Well, good, right? There we go. I'm really enjoying Tom today because his microphone sounds amazing in my ears.
Yeah.
Making me feel
I'm
excited
sure it's not
and
the
good.
headphones that you're wearing.
I don't know
Could
about
be.
that.
Or it could just be broken.
Oh.
Well, no, because if it was the headphones, we'd all sound amazing. And he's just singled out Tom.
Well, maybe the headphones got a secret Tom Ori button on them. Have you thought about that? They are special.
Well, they are new headphones. Maybe they were built with Tom. Tom, you signed any licensing deals recently?
What, that make my voice sound better?
Yeah.
Yeah. Loads.
And don't forget that this week's Video Gamer UK podcast is sponsored by Traybro, which we all know is the greatest company name ever made. It's like a matchmaking service where you can get all your friends together and then go play games. And who doesn't want that? It's like this podcast. We've all come together to talk about games. Traybro is the matchmaking video game.
Friends.
Are you saying that we're not your friends?
Oh, my.
Well, I just thought I'd be a bit awkward.
Oh, well thank you for that, Tom.
I think if you are a bit awkward like Tom, Traybro will find people that you don't know to play with if you don't have any friends.
There you go. Oh. We are Traybro, and Traybro is us. The first game I want to talk about today is Star Fox Zero, simply because the embargo... Right, if you're a patron, you're getting this on Tuesday. So the embargo is tomorrow. Ooh. But if you're a normal person, you're getting it on Wednesday and the embargo's about to break. So I thought it'd be nice to kind of pepper this in if you listen straight away. And you can I can't talk about it too much, obviously.
Yeah.
But there are preview things we can talk about.
You can just call it a different name. I do that all the time.
That's true. But you've played... I mean, the first level you've played. That's the first level of the game.
Yeah, it's fucking rubbish.
Yeah. It's not rubbish now. We'll take the first level. That way we're not breaking any laws, right? Now, you played the first level 6 months ago?
E3.
Not more?
Long time now.
So I don't really know what's changed. It could be every chance is exactly the same and you just happen to not like it and I do.
It probably is that.
But it feels very much like a modern day Star Fox game. Like, it's very easy to control.
So it's totally different. If it was easy to control, it's totally different.
Did you have the two different options when it came to control?
Yes.
So it's basically you move it when you're firing or you move it all the time. You had that?
Yeah, there were a couple, but they none of them really worked. And I think everyone who played it, because it went back, didn't it? It was meant to come out, and then everyone went, well, and then we need more time to think about it.
Well, I imagine then the controls are the same and they've just been tightened. Because, I mean, I'm not...
Well, if you didn't crash into everything while playing it...
No, not at all.
Yeah,
it must be drawn back a bit then. I don't know the best way to explain it, but I much prefer it when it is just motion when you're firing. So you basically move your reticule fire button, as opposed to the default, which is no matter where you move your gamepad, the shit goes.
Yeah, it's impossible to control.
Even then, I guess because you can still control everything with the two sticks. If you like hold your gamepad quite solidly, you kind of stay on a straight path. So that mostly feels like if you really want to aim at something in particular, then you use the motion, especially if you turn it to firing only, which is what I chose. Because the reason I wanted to bring it up is in relation to the first level. The chicken stuff is unwieldy. Like it's like actually controlling a chicken that's just been told you're about to become like, a breast. He's like, no, and he runs around. And you're like, control it.
The chicken stuff.
So basically, you can, when you're near the ground, or certain sections, and when you can replay it, I think
do you get little legs on your plate?
Yeah, you push X, I think it is, and little legs grow out, and you can run around. It looks like a chicken.
That sounds so stupid.
Well, it's Nintendo, isn't it? It's Nintendo nonsense, but it is difficult to say the least. I'm really intrigued to see what this is related to the first level only.
Okay.
But I'm really intrigued to see what people think about that, because it really does feel like cliche time, like a game of two halves. in the sense that you're in the R-wing. And you're like, oh, this is cool. This is Star Fox. Wii U. It looks nice. Because it looks nice enough. It's not the best looking game you'll ever see. But then you get in the chicken, and you're like, it does honestly feel like someone has told the chicken is about to die, and you got 10 seconds to get away. See how much you can control it. And it's very, very strange because one thing I do really appreciate is it tries to keep you guessing constantly. It's not just you're in like old Star Fox game, R-wing, level. It's like, oh, now you're in this thing, and now you're doing that, and it comes up with some really cool set pieces. There's one halfway through the game which I won't spoil, which was really quite epic and quite Star Warsy almost. Then you're back in the chicken, and that constant thing of knowing it's coming, and you're like, I don't know
when the chicken's coming, but I know it is.
And the chicken literally ties in the best part of that set piece I just mentioned as well.
Really?
You have to use the chicken, so that kind of takes away from it because you're like, if I hadn't had to run around like a farmyard animal, I think I would have preferred it. But I'm intrigued to see. I'm not 100% sure my opinion is going to be uniform across everyone. I'm really intrigued to see if anyone managed to tame it or not. Oh. But I definitely think it's better than what you told me, or I just have a completely different take on it whatsoever. I don't know.
If it works, I mean, it was very, very poor, and I think even the Nintendo reps knew it. Everyone I spoke to there was like, "Did you play Star Fox?" Like, well, I mean, play it. It's maybe $2,000 a term, but yeah, they were really focusing on the gamepad to kind of steer or use, that weird combination of stuff, and playing it at an event as well. I'll give them some leeway here. Is that playing it at an event, after you've been on the show floor for quite a while and you play loads of stuff, and you have to stand up and use it, and all of these excuses, which are very, very flimsy right now. But I thought it was, and then every time you try to turn, just hit a canyon wall because you fly through. In the demo I played, you flew through the canyon. And there was a big
first level, yeah.
Yeah, there was a big reactor at the end, and then you went inside something else and turned into chicken ship.
Yep.
And the chicken bit was better because you were on solid ground then, and you could move. You knew what you were doing, and it was actually quite embarrassing because I had to keep on asking the Nintendo man to please reorientate the fucking camera because I can't play it in gamepad mode, and he was like, "Don't worry."
Well,
no one can.
There is a lot of that. There's a lot of going from TV screen to gamepad, probably more than any Wii U game I've ever played.
It's like Guitar Hero.
It is like
just
that.
Keep looking down.
I mean, all you have to do is because sometimes the calibration does go out as you'd expect, and you just I keep saying X, it's not X, but you push a button on the pad, and that recalibrates it, and that becomes a huge use. Like I was using one thing, I just couldn't control it. Looked at the pad, whacked it, sent it. It's okay, that's fine. But there really is a lot of look at the screen, look at the pad, and it kind of works because especially when you hold ZL or whatever the damn buttons on the Wii U are to focus on your target, and then on the TV screen you kind of get your cinematic angle where it will lock onto where you need to be, and you kind of steer almost at the front of the ship if it's behind you. But then you have to move to the gamepad, obviously, because no one could steer like that. Well, you may be able to, but it's hard. It's like when you try and steer in Grand Theft Auto when you hit the cinematic button.
Yeah,
it looks cool, but it's really hard to do it. And that can be a bit weird because you think, why am I jumping back and forth? But you do get into a rhythm with it. It is, I'd imagine the delay must have been to make these controls feel better. That must be the only reason they have done it. Because when I was flying through the canyon, it almost felt on rails to a certain extent. So you couldn't really smash into anything because it was almost guiding you where to go. And then when you get to the big reactor bit, I can't remember what they call it now, it's basically like an open section where it will no longer hold your hand and you have a certain area to fly around in. If you go too far, it will just swing your ship back. And that's why it kind of worked for me. You have the open areas where you can go nuts, but if you're flying through them more, like the original Star Fox was, it will kind of guide you to where you need to go, and you kind of just focus on killing things and doing cool stuff as and when. I like it. Excuse me, I really like it. It's not the greatest game I've ever played in the world. It's certainly not the best game on the Wii U, and it it's made by Platinum, which means it's probably better technically than you'd imagine, but it lacks that Nintendo kind of wow. But I think it's all right. I tell you what's not all right. No, I can't say that. But the thing that may or may not come with it is not... Well, who knows?
The instruction manual?
Who knows? Yeah, the instruction manual. Anymore. The instruction manual is an interesting accomplice. I don't know what that is. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what that is. But
I look forward to reading it.
We'll talk about it. Yeah, if you want more, I think it's 2 or 3 p.m. on Wednesday. There'll be a video. There'll be an article on Video Gamer, and we'll readdress it on the podcast next week. But definitely after what I'd heard a few months ago, whenever, it's decent. It's decent enough, and I think the delay probably...
I want to play it now. I want to see how much they've improved. Not because I don't believe you,
Well,
But it was in such a
no, I get
state
it,
that I
yeah.
want to see.
You may play and go, Miller, you're well off. I don't know.
It's the same build.
What I do like, yeah. What I do like is all the levels are obviously divided up into planets, and they're really brief and they're really quick, and that just makes it feel very replayable because you know that level's only going to take 8 to 10 minutes, and I like that. There's something about it. It makes it feel, just good. It's a good,
Fair
it's a
enough.
good thing. Okay, that's Star Fox out of the way. Done, dusted. We'll get to that later. VR, I've got here written on my list. Is apparently something we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's played VR apart from me. I mean, I've used PlayStation VR and the Oculus, but we've got the Vive.
The Vive.
Yeah.
And everyone seems to be like well up on it.
It's well good, isn't it?
Not anymore.
I like-
was not
Oh, wait,
anymore.
why not? Why don't you like it, Tom?
Just it feels a bit too much like hassle now.
You do need an assistant.
You need
Asshole or hassle?
Hassle.
Hassle.
All right.
You
Why?
you need to be dressed basically. So you need someone.
Dressed?
Well, you need someone to put the thing on help you put the thing on and kind of set the wires.
The
up
helmet.
a bit, yeah. And then you need someone to put the headphones on if you're not using buds and stuff. And then
Really?
yeah, because the connection, the headphone jack is attached to the back of the
I didn't know
headset.
Mm.
So you have to it's easier to get someone to just do it for you.
That sounds a lot less smooth
You
than
can
the
do
Oculus
it.
and
You can do it.
PlayStation.
You
But it is
can, but it's
awkward
awkward. And then you have to, if you're not in a game that's showing you where the controllers are, you have to either remember where you put them or get someone to hold them, or it's so.
This doesn't sound as
you do
cool as
need
everyone's been
you
making
need an
out.
assistant.
It's well cool.
But it is. Well, I don't know if I think it's well cool because it is actually well cool, or if because I'm just like, it's a whole new world. Like,
Well, it is, isn't it?
yeah.
Aladdin got it right.
But I don't know how good it actually is. I don't know if sorry, I've got a cold, so I keep
That's
coughing
okay.
when I
But
laugh.
I do like just the headset stuff. This is a bit more than that. But all the headset controller
Yeah.
stuff I've played has been, I love it. This seems a bit more, not over the top, that's not the right word, but more like throw your whole
better.
body into it.
Some of the stuff is really the Valve stuff. The Valve Lab
Yeah, it's amazing.
is amazing.
What's that? I know what the
So
Valve
it's
Lab
like
is.
the Valve Lab is basically like I guess like a kind of it demonstrates everything that is possible with the Vive, I guess. So it's a little
Oh, okay. And is it made by Valve?
yeah. So
Right.
Valve has partnered quite heavily with the Vive.
Yeah.
I think is that right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Steam VR, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So the Steam
of
VR
course,
stuff.
yeah.
So they made
Actually made a game.
They made a
Stopped
game.
being a shop for a while.
called the Lab.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
And it loads up, and you're in like a little. It's supposed to be like a lab in, I guess, Aperture Science, where they're testing VR stuff.
Okay.
So you're in your little helmet, and you can walk about the lab a little bit, and there's a little robot dog who'll come up and be like, pretend bark at you, and then you can do like there's loads of stuff. You can do little archery, and then you can
It's
go
like mini games then.
Yeah, little mini games to sort of demonstrate the stuff that is possible with the Vive. But the best one, well, the one I liked most was there's one where you can just go and you'll just be standing on a mountain, and you can just walk
Well, so
around.
you just
the
look
mountain.
around.
Yeah, I thought it
That
was
would
really
be
cool.
the best stuff because the immersion of that is what sells it.
It's the simplest one, but it is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one that feels the most like
Yeah.
you're
The
there.
bands you really like the robot maintenance one. Is that you?
Yeah.
yeah.
Doesn't sound good on paper, does it? Robot maintenance.
With the lab, so that's their tech demo. It gets so it's room scale. That's the difference between this and Oculus and PSVR. So you can, if you've got a big enough room, you can walk around in that room. So our studio is fairly big.
You actually have to walk, don't you?
You can teleport using the thing if your room isn't big enough or you
Right.
don't want to. But the fact that you can just walk around, and it is very cumbersome, as Tom was saying.
What if you walk into the wall?
Well, yeah, someone did nearly put the controller through the television at one point. But at the same time, Valve is clearly, it's really thought about how not just room scale works in terms of can I walk here, but how the proportions of the environment work. It's a very boring way of saying everything is the size and shape which you anticipate it would be if you were actually in a full matrix style thing. So you walk up to stuff and like, okay, it not only looks like a table, but in your brain, you're like, oh, it feels like there's a table there. And after a while, what you start doing is, so you can see the controllers in VR space and everything's mapped one-to-one. The input is incredible. There's no lag at all. And so you start to think, because you can see these things in 3D space, that they are obviously 3D objects. And so everything around them must be, because your brain has to, compartmentalize that. So you start trying to put the controllers down on virtual tables
Tom,
and
amazing.
Tom does that a lot.
and dropping them onto the floor.
But what a statement! Like what a thing to say that VR. I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? To
Yeah.
lose yourself in it, and then that's what it
It
does.
doesn't even have to be, because then one of the other games that we've tried out is Job Simulator, and that doesn't look realistic in any way. It's very kind of almost like cartoony version of like various different job scenarios. One of them is like working in a cafe.
Oh, that was so funny. I watched Tom try and make a cup of tea for like 10 minutes.
It doesn't look real at all, but you still get the feeling you're there. And even though you're in a little fairly small room and you have to kind of manipulate things to change the machine to be like a cooker or a sink or whatever else. And I had to make crumpets and a cup of tea.
It was really funny.
Nice.
He was going, who keeps bacon in the fridge?
I mean, more bacon in the fridge. It's
the
fine.
freezer. It was in the freezer. He was really angry.
Can you freeze bacon? I don't eat bacon. So
Well,
Yeah.
you can.
Okay.
I wouldn't cook it from frozen. That's just mad. But
VR, man. It's the future.
Arguments
it's just,
about bacon.
like Bern said, like there were points where I definitely tried to put the controllers down on the kitchen surface, and I think the one thing, I think it's amazing. Like when you're in it and it works, it's really, really good. But it's like we have a room that we could clear out almost like entirely and have a fairly big space, and we've got room to put up like the Vive uses these 2 cameras
Oh my God.
that go either
yeah.
side of the room essentially.
The little sensors.
It's very
And
complicated.
we've got those mounted on tripods that we happen to have in the office.
Oh, they didn't come. Oh, I thought the
No,
tripods
yeah.
came
So they-
with it, right?
Well, they came with wall mounts. So, yeah, to
So
screw
like
the
you
wall.
get your like say 10-year-old boy convinces his parents to buy this for him.
rich
Rich
10-year-old boy.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Little
he arrives and he
silver
goes,
spoon
"All
outside.
right, Dad, you've got to screw this into the wall."
You've got to screw this into the wall, preferably higher than 2 meters off the floor and no further than
It's
5
like-
meters apart.
It's really cool, but I just think most people don't know
Yeah.
how much of an effort it's going to be to,
Yeah.
particularly the Vive. I think because of the room scale stuff has all this extra stuff with it.
Why is it such a departure from like the Oculus and the PlayStation 4 headsets? This seems like a completely different take on how to do it.
It's a room scale stuff.
Yeah.
It is. Literally, there is.
That is literally.
It knows where
it.
you are in a 3D space more
Yeah.
than just
Yeah.
like looking around. But I think I actually think it's going to be like the PlayStation VR and the Oculus style stuff. You can do that on the Vive as well, just basically sitting there with the controller. That's all supported. I think that stuff is more likely to catch on in the short term because it's just easier.
Yeah.
And
But I also like
you get
that it's
more
not-
game-like experiences rather than tech demos.
It's not a huge departure. It's literally like, you know, this controller, just put the headset on, you're like, okay, I can do this. This is just me wearing some headwear.
Yeah.
Whereas this sounds like a complete, hey, do you want to come around and play the Vibe? Give me an hour.
It's
Yeah.
closest
Well,
to the
yeah, I
holodeck
think
stuff.
you have to either have it out all the time in like a room dedicated for
Pez
your
Palace,
Vive.
innit?
Yeah. Or just it will never get used. You'll use it once
Yeah.
when
And
you get it on Christmas Day. And then
yeah. It's more than the other two as well, isn't it? It's $800.
Yeah.
And what's I can't remember how much the other ones are
The
now.
Oculus is what, $500?
Yeah, it's what, $200 or $300.
The PlayStation
between them.
VR worked out what, £400 ish.
Yeah, around about.
So
Well, I guess it's more technology and
But
more technology.
It is amazing.
It is really
yeah, that's
cool.
the thing. Yeah, it is. You.
I got to play it. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. We're gonna put you in a scary game, aren't we?
You're playing a scary. That's my first example of it. Is here's a scary game, Miller. Thanks
But
a lot.
it is a bit like people. We had a video gamer community club night, and people came and they got a little go.
Everyone
on the
seemed to
Vive,
like
and
it.
yeah, like one girl was like, "Oh my god, I've got to buy one." Like,
Where's the kickback, boys?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
But you're a fan of it, Burns, aren't you? Like it all mostly.
Yeah, I was. It made me love video games again.
Wow,
there you
that's
go.
going to go on the box.
Wow, maybe that's a bit much. Pez obviously sustains my love.
his
for
heart
it.
grew 3 sizes.
Exactly to extra small.
But wasn't it like guns that convinced you to love video games?
Yeah.
Yeah, the hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. Is the one-to-one stuff is incredible. I did that GIF where you can manually eject the cartridge, the bullet out of a pistol, and then catch it with the hand you use to pull the slide back. And you're like, that sounds like real serial killer talk, and it probably is. But at the same time, to have, when I saw those Vive controllers for the first time, I was pissing myself. I'm like, what is this? Is Atari making this? Ha ha ha. And then, like most things these days, I'm like, oh no, I'm wrong about that. Classic. But yeah, the key to it is the depth perception. So in Out of Ammo, which is by Dean Hall and Rocketworks, his new thing, you can get in these towers. It's a tower defense game. You get in the towers to shoot people who are coming into your base. And if you turn around, the depth perception is incredible. So you start, even though your brain at some point is like, Steve, you're on solid ground here. You start to get a bit wobbly. You're like, shit, what if I go over here? And you're like, not going to go.
That's amazing.
You have that dissonance between what your brain what you know, and what almost every sense is being told. Like, fuck, don't walk that way.
Yeah.
And that's why the mountain works so well. People are like, shit, People like on their hands and knees looking over the side of the mountain.
Can you fall off the mountain?
No, but you can. But that's it. You can crouch down. Like you can. There are
is
some tech
amazing.
demos when there's stuff under a table, so you can crouch down, so you can
Budget
see
cuts,
under the
isn't it?
table.
You can,
That is amazing.
And there's a NASA demo which I love, which is Apollo 11. It's not actually by NASA, but Jim scared the shit out of himself by you do the lunar lander section, and so you have to land the lunar lander. And Jim turned around because you can see on the output screen what they're seeing, obviously in 2D. Jim turns around and there's fucking Neil Armstrong standing there, and he goes, "Oh!" Like, and when I put, I was like, "Jim, come on!" But when you put it on, you're like, shit, like that is, it's not. It looks exactly like him, but it's more how again the 3D space works. It looks like there's a man sitting next to you. When you're looking out of the window trying to land the thing, and when you come in too quickly, you get that feeling of, I'm gonna fucking smash this thing. You're like, oh shit, and your brain starts going, no, we're going too fast. We're going much too fast. But the feeling of falling is incredible. There's one in that lunar lander one where you are going just before it takes off. The whole rocket takes off from Earth. You are the camera basically, so you're at the top of the rocket looking down onto the cape, and then you start moving as the camera would, and like panning around it.
Yeah.
And you start going, I'm falling. And your brain's like, you're falling, you're dead. That's it. And then suddenly everything just kind of stops. You're like, no, I'm not falling, I'm flying. Shit. Where's the Superman game?
Well, that's coming, surely.
Yeah.
Well, I remember, because you were talking about it, Tom, the other day, The Whale. I've only seen that, like, in video form. I haven't played it, but that would scare the
Yeah.
absolute
Oh, yeah,
crap
yeah, yeah.
out of me.
As a
They need an
video,
Alien game. Alien Isolation.
Definitely.
Oh
Dead.
fuck me, I'll die. Yeah.
The whale experience, like you watch it as a video and it looks so dull, and like I saw a few people saying it scared them, and I thought, just get over it. It's not scary at all.
Over it.
And then you play it, and suddenly you're so immersed in it, and there's this massive thing there, and there's a bit where at the end it swims off and its tail goes up and then swings straight down in front of you, and there is a moment you think, shit, that is going to just destroy me.
It's crazy.
But there's a game, like Burns was saying, the sense of like movement and stuff, even though you're stood still. Like there's a game called, I think it's like a demo or take demo called The Cubicle, and it's
Is what we're playing?
well, maybe, but I'm not sure.
I thought it was a scary game.
It's not really scary, so
Okay.
I changed it. It's so you're in a work, like your office work cubicle, and you've got to put these folders in the right coloured cabinets essentially, and then all these odd things start happening, and the floor, you start going down and it speeds up and stuff, and even though you're stood still, you get a definite sense that you're falling down on this like elevator. It's kind of like if you're, I'm going to describe something that probably no one else has ever experienced, and it's going to sound weird, but if you're on a train and you pull up next to another train,
Oh, and the
you're
other
looking out
train,
the window,
yeah.
and the other train moves,
Oh,
but you're
no, I
still
know that, yeah.
and it feels like you're moving,
Yeah.
even though you're not, and,
Yeah.
and then your head goes, "Ugh," and it's a bit weird. It's like that, but you get so into it that you
Like a car
you
wash.
never get broken out of it until you take it off. And it works really well, but then one of the problems is I played this other game. It's one of the only like gamey type games, more than just a tech demo. I can't remember, it's called The Gallery Starseed or something like that, and it's like an adventure, and you move around a fairly big area. It's much more than just let's show off the tech. It's an actual game, a bit like Myst but modern. And the movement, I think, is the problem, because it uses the teleport system where you look where you want to go and then press a button and it teleports you there essentially. And it feels like you've got all this cool stuff on. It's all immersive, but then you're not moving.
Yeah.
And there's some videos online about this guy that has apparently solved this by doing this walking on the spot thing.
Oh, those weird things.
And so
Yeah.
you can get around 3D environments by pretending to walk, essentially, which may make this kind of stuff better.
Treadmill,
But at
yeah.
the moment, you've got this really cool, if you're still, you can do all this, you feel like you're there. But as soon as you have to move, you're like, I'm in the game again.
Yeah.
Because you're just teleporting around, and you have to fiddle around with the right orientation to where you want to go. Like you want to teleport to a door, but you end up teleporting to the side of the door, and you have to fiddle around to get to the right bit. It doesn't quite work. Whereas I think stuff like some of the games where you are still inside something, so Rigs on PlayStation VR looks like a good example, where you are inside a mech, you are still, but the mech is moving. So the controls, it makes sense that you can't move around because you are moving something else that is for you. And like if you're in a car looking around and the car is moving, but you're still inside the car, that kind of thing should work better. But if they can get the whole movement stuff sorted beyond moving a few feet around where you are, I think it could be really cool. But at the moment, it doesn't quite work when it's trying to do more than sort of small areas.
Are there any racing games that we've played? Surely that must be terrifying in VR.
There are some, but I don't think we've played
I don't think we played any, no.
All right. Well, I mean, I love VR that I played. This sounds incredible as well.
You're gonna love the shit out of this.
Not if the first thing I play is a horror game.
It made me
I'm
like
not.
video games again.
Maybe we should-
Honestly, I was running around like a child.
We
I
should-
wrote something that used the word immersive, and it wasn't a piss take. I'm back.
Baby.
Have you seen the footage of Dave? We've put David
Yeah,
Scammell in
on the
VR.
Patreon, yeah. If you want to become a Patreon video gamer. No, patreon.com/video gamer. It's Dave playing with a dog.
A robot dog. It's
Robot dog,
it's
yeah.
the most adorable
Yeah.
thing.
It's quite good. What is not the most adorable thing is Dark Souls 3. You've both been playing it, Steve and Alice, correct?
Yeah, loads.
Yeah, I'm
Alice
still
more
waiting.
so
I
now,
hear
probably.
Alice shouting from the games room. So that just sums up to me how crap that... Well, not crap, but how classic that game is.
Do you know what? I was started off being quite creative and shouting stuff like "fuck you, you cheap piece of shit,"
Nice,
motherfucker,"
yeah,
and
damn
stuff.
right.
But now I'm so exhausted and
Oh, it's
just
worn you down.
So like the last boss, I thought I was just like "fuck you, you fucking giant."
Are you enjoying it, though?
No.
No, you're not. Yes. Why not?
Because it's just
Cheap.
Because
Broken.
obviously yeah. So I'm right. Like I said to Burns earlier, I was like, you know what, shit, Burns, because you don't leave footprints when you run across snow.
Mate, facts.
That's why all FPSs are crap. You can't see your feet.
Yeah.
Rubbish.
But like, because I'm writing guides for it and stuff, I've started realizing, like I described, like this is the boss, this is the stuff he does, and I've realized like at least 3, possibly 4 of the bosses I've written basically the same description because they do the same sort of thing.
Yes.
It's like, here's this guy, he will spawn copies of himself that have the same movesets, like, and it's just like there's a lot of it doesn't make sense as well. Like you'll open
That's
up.
because you don't really understand it.
Get good. Well, no, like you'll open up shortcuts to places that you've already found bonfires for, and because you can teleport to bonfires, there's no need for the shortcut to exist.
That sounds weird.
So it's.
Sounds a bit.
I guess
broken.
it's designed for people that will like running through and doing
Yeah.
like 100%ing it, which I guess like I don't know. It just doesn't seem as.
You just haven't read the note that explains why that exists.
How would you say it compared to Bloodborne? Because
well-
all I'm hearing now is that Bloodborne is the best, but Dark Souls 3, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I eventually like started hating Bloodborne as well because
Yeah.
I was like, "There's no joy in this anymore. I just have to grind until I do this boss, and then I just know I'll do that again." But Bloodborne at least felt a bit richer.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm in Dark Souls 3. I'm just like, there's nothing about it that interests me really.
It's Dark Souls 3, isn't it? That's the thing. That's the issue for a lot of people. Was that
Too similar.
Yeah. Whereas Bloodborne had this cool gothic thing going on, and you weren't really sure what you were going to see or who you were going to find. Whereas Dark Souls 3, there's obviously an expectation as the second sequel pulls from 2 other games as well.
But you have started doing a bit of multiplayer now, right? Because all the servers.
Yeah,
are,
it's well
how's that?
good.
What is
Well
the
good.
multiplayer?
So you fuck people up.
Yeah, you just gank on other
Or
people.
PvP?
Yeah.
Well, how does that work?
You can do co-op,
Yeah.
but like I'm most
You can play
things-
through the game co-op.
Yeah.
Do the enemies scale?
Yeah.
Kind of. You can't summon someone, if I'm correct here, and who fucking knows in this game, if you haven't already defeated the area boss, I think. So
So it's repeating
You-
bits with people.
Yeah, I
which
think
is
it's,
rubbish, basically. No one wants to do that.
for the PvP stuff, you have to summon. You have to get like stuff to use to invade other people's worlds.
These games.
And you get different, like you join different teams basically.
Wait.
And then you get summoned into different.
Yeah,
You
Covenants.
invade people's worlds.
Yeah.
Like Animal Crossing. That's what you do in Animal
It's
Crossing.
like-
You go to train, and you go to someone's world, and you check it out.
But you got a big sword, and now you're going to
Yeah.
fuck them up.
Tom Nook, isn't it? He's got a big sword.
Yeah,
Sword of-
financial
Yeah,
sword.
exactly, yeah.
Sword of commerce.
Yeah, exactly.
Hanging over you.
But, I mean, does that add anything to... Is that new? I don't know, a big Dark Souls guy.
No, but
No.
it's really
But-
good. It adds something to the game, which I never really do or did PvP, but now I bloody had to for work.
Yeah.
And because usually I just think these people must be real geeks, like proper Bloodborne geeks or Dark Souls geeks, and they're going to know all the fucking stats and what poise and dexterity do and all that shit. I'm going to get ganked by their team.
Ganked.
And these are all things that I had to work out for myself. But after it starts to change the way you feel about the environments, because it's less just about the fighting and more about intimidation. So when you invade, you're this, you look like Gary Oldman at the start of fucking Dracula.
Yeah.
You got this big red thing, and if you're in knight's armor, you look pretty cool. You've got a big
Yeah.
sword, and you won't spawn on top of the player generally. You have to find them. And so you're going to find the choke point as they're running through their game to the next boss area.
This can just pop up from nowhere.
Yeah.
Run along.
But
there's Gary Oldman.
You can have it in offline mode, essentially,
Right, okay,
so
good.
you don't need to be invaded. And so you'll find the choke point, which, given the architecture of the world, is usually on top of a fucking, a wall or a building or a church. And then, you have these really intense battles where it's like sword and shield fighting, and invariably someone, falls off the side of the cathedral when they hit roll. But it is really good. It changes.
Hit roll is so true.
It changes the way you think about the world, because if you're the invader, then enemies don't attack you. So you get this weird thing,
that's
you're like
interesting.
in a game just full of violence, where you're walking around like, all right, yeah,
I'm one of you.
yeah,
I'm one of the
one of the
boys.
guys in there.
Yeah.
I read a really good story from Reddit. I don't know if you saw it. It was amazing because you can invade someone's world, and so this guy invaded a world as like a malevolent purple spirit, and then the guy who was invading, the sun bro, who was like a golden guy, just didn't attack him, just like waved, was like hello. So the guy decided not to attack him. And so they went through like the level together, even though he was supposed to be killing this guy, and like they amassed those souls together, like attacking enemies and
then
helping
one
out,
in turn, right?
and then like other guys who were supposed to be helping the invader out, like turned up, and he was like no, and like fought them off and stuff because he was like
Is this Lilo and Stitch?
And then another sun bro, like a golden guy who was on the invaded guy's team, turned up, saw the evil spirit. Didn't know that they'd formed an alliance and started attacking. So he was like running away, and the original guy who'd waved was like, no, and trying to like signal to not attack him. And so like
This is nuts.
I know. And so the invader was like shit, and eventually turned and was like going to attack the guy. But then he just saw it at the corner of his eye, like his friend was like shit, and like ran and like jumped off a cliff so that he would die, and like his friend would be sent back to his world with all the souls and stuff.
It's
Like
gone
a
too
weird,
far.
There you
like
go.
David Fincher-esque kind of like,
What the flip is that?
Told you it was a good game, didn't I? Told you.
I don't even know where to begin with.
Rich
Dan.
Stanton fucking loves the multiplayer. He's hosting like fight clubs.
But Rich
Like,
Stanton we often have joke tweets back and forth about my opinion of the Souls games. I always throw Gears of War references at him, saying, "Yeah, it's not as good as General Ram, though, is it?" Well, there it is. I mean, we are going to play Dark Souls 3, Tom, aren't we? Once Bloodborne's done. Everyone thinks the Bloodborne stream's done. It's not. We just have to have a week off. We'll be back on Thursday, 3
Yeah,
p.m.
get a
We're going to
Calm
finish
down.
it this week.
Well,
Is it this week, do you
Well,
reckon?
the ideal is
We're
we
not.
finish it this week.
Yeah.
We won't, but ideal. And then next week we'll have a week off.
Yeah.
Because Tom and I are both
And then
away. And
Dark
then
Souls.
Dark Souls 3. But that's what we'll do. We'll have a week off in between whenever we do finish it. And then
Where are you going?
next week,
Yes.
sleeping. It's my sleeping week. Next week.
Those ones
I'm
are
not going
good.
anywhere. Although I may have to go to flipping Milan. We're not talking about that. One last game that we shall talk about before we answer your questions is, I love the concept, what Alice Bell is doing. She's playing Dragon Age Inquisition, and she's crowdsourcing all her decisions, which I think is absolute, through Twitter, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Was it at Baby Got Bell?
Yeah.
So you can go, what do? You literally get to a point and you go...
because Dragon Age Inquisition is my happy place, and I was feeling so sad this weekend because I'm sick,
sorry.
and I was having to play Dark Souls.
Yes, the crap.
Yeah, so I was like, shit. So I decided. So I was like, right, I'm going to start a new Inquisition playthrough. Built the character, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should ask everyone again. So I've done a couple of polls already on Twitter where it's just like, okay, so I've got to make this decision. So first of all, should I side with the mages or the Templars? Which predictably,
It's a really great idea. I love it.
yeah. So predictably, the mages won that one. But it was so close, and I hadn't done the Templars playthrough, so I was like, "Wow, it's my character." So I overruled that one. But
Vince
they
McMahon would love you.
decided that I'm going to romance the Iron Bull, so we're going to get that
Get that lovely
kickstarted.
cutscene, yeah.
And then the next decision I think we've got to make is going to be, I don't know. I might do a personality one though, like should I play it as a dick?
Nice.
Or like, so yeah, get involved. It's going pretty well.
Do you like put little videos or pictures up anywhere?
I'm going to start doing that because there's been a level of interest.
I think it's good.
It's
I think
good.
it's a really
It's
good
fun.
idea. So you guys, Dragon Bell, I was about to call you.
I'll
Alex
take it.
Bell's Dragon Age Inquisition crowdsourced playthrough.
Get involved. It's great.
I mean, that is just, maybe we should put this up on Video Game. I don't know. Like,
We
the
used to,
title
yeah.
just rolls off the tongue. You can get all your decisions before, then play
My
it through and you
crowdsourced
can see-
Quizzy, she's a Canary rogue, which is I had to be like, yeah, I know, shut up, because the Canary are the big hench like
Yeah,
traps and lats, massive
Damn
ones
right.
with horns,
yeah.
and they're not really natural rogues, but I was like, fuck,
Whatever works, right?
yeah.
I like that. Does anyone else want to talk about other games? Or we
Football
gamed
Manager.
out? Yeah. Football Manager, still loving it.
Do you know I'm doing a video series about Football
I know you're doing.
Manager?
It's called Let's Play Football Manager 2016. My life as a football manager.
Yeah,
Is that actually what it's called?
something like
I
that.
heard you lost to Fulham.
I think, did I lose or draw? I can't remember.
No, you lost.
But I'll give you a little sneak preview of this week's Friday's episode if you're a patron, or Mondays if you're not. Things don't go very well.
No,
No.
they don't really go that well in your entire Football Manager career, Tom, do they?
Where are you in
You've
the
been
league?
sacked from everywhere you've been.
No.
Where are you in the league?
The start...
Oh, wait, there's an
well,
asterisk.
I don't want to spoil too much.
Okay, fair
but
enough.
At the start of the forthcoming episode, I'm second.
Oh, okay, well, that's good.
But that's after 3 games.
Still, second is second.
And I'm not quite second at the end of this week.
Right, 23rd.
It's really funny whenever whenever one of them is due to go live in the office, because Tom shows a level of concern for his Football Manager videos like I've not seen him show for any other
I'm
video
always
posted on the channel.
concerned, but
Yeah, but you never like whenever Miller posts like a Miller report, you're never like, Miller, are we sure that's not going to like affect the views, or like
It's true.
well, there is
It's got a production deal now.
Yeah.
there is this. I am slightly convinced there is some issue with the view count.
If you do want to watch that, it's just patreon.com/videogamer. You get that on Friday, and if you go to VideogamerTV, it pops up on a Monday, isn't that right, Tom?
Yeah, and if you want to give me feedback, you follow at VGTomo.
At VG Tomo, you can tell him everything that he needs to know about his Football Manager game. Other stuff as we're plugging, you can get us on Twitter at VideogamerCom, Facebook VideogamerCom. Give us those likes. Facebook, come on, push that Facebook wagon. Videogamer.com is a website you can go to. YouTube's Videogamer TV, and obviously we just launched the Miller Report YouTube channel.
very exciting.
Now, at the moment, it doesn't have a customer URL because of stupid YouTube laws. There's something like UX977223. But if you just go on any of our Twitters, or the Video Gamer Twitter, or the Miller Report Twitter, go to the Miller Report Twitter, at the Miller Report, follow him, that guy, it's not me. And I think in the bio you can click it and that will take you through. And in 30 days' time, we can have a custom URL.
Woo!
And
Although
won't run.
I did look at there's someone who's already called the Miller report.
Shit, is there really?
Yeah, but they're really shit, and like I don't know what they do.
I can get rid of
They've
there,
done like
I
a
guess.
few. Yeah,
That's
I don't
fine.
know.
I'll just call it like Lats. I don't know. I think it's something. Is that, I didn't, oh, damn it. Is that the Australian guy? There's
Yeah,
an Australian
maybe, I
guy
don't
out there
know.
who does shit videos.
It's like the very very small amount of videos,
Okay.
probably from like
It's like
2002.
the guy
or something
called
like
Tom Orry that makes YouTube videos.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Or is it about you?
No, there is a guy.
What's he
He's
like?
he's like the most stereotypical YouTuber in the world. If they could think of someone more,
Well, like Milbob.
What up, YouTube? It's your
more
boy Tom
There you go.
Orry.
He's like a vlogger or something.
I wouldn't like that to hear your name coming out of that. That would freak me out
Hmm.
because it'd just be so like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
It's Tom Orry here playing Minecraft.
You should do a Football Manager like that. Boss, good.
Well, who knows?
Right, try
Maybe.
it. Get Milbob on your next Football Manager video.
People want guests.
So they really
yeah.
get Milbob. Fucking look how bad that would be. And don't forget that this week's episode of the Video Game UK podcast is sponsored by Trey Bro. We can go play with all your friends or find new friends, matchmaking, all that kind of wonderful stuff. Questions? Everyone ready?
Yeah, hit me.
Yeah.
Right, we only got a few. Collie at Lee Collie Boy or something like that. This is very, very, like, it's a big deal for old Lee here. We can't steer him wrong. I'm getting married on Friday.
Oh,
What do you think follows? What's the best co-op games for couples so we can have something to do in the evenings? I can't think of any co-op games.
It's a bit old now, but Portal 2 has got really good little
That
co-op.
is a good co-op.
co-op
problem with
puzzle games.
Portal 2 is you need both people have to be a similar level.
Of skill?
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Do you mean like of natural skill, or is there? You
Because
mean
there's
like,
a lot of like pointing and
Right,
action,
yeah.
speed aiming and stuff, isn't there? In the co-op
Pez,
version.
innit? Play Pez.
I played through it. It was good. It's
I'm not saying it's not good.
you can
Play fucking Narc.
What's
Yeah,
Narc?
the old shooting game from Midway.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, winners don't use drugs, motherfucker.
Is that actually what it says? Is that a quote with the motherfucker in it?
At the start, well, no, because it's a government-issued one.
Oh, right.
It's not like cool Obama.
Well, I can
government, it's
imagine
like
Midway
Reagan
doing.
government.
I can imagine Midway having a game called "Don't Use Drugs, Motherfucker." To be honest, that
Yeah.
was their kind of remit.
Yeah, not anymore. They're dead.
No.
Like-
Gears of War. That's co-op.
Most Nintendo games as well, like Mario.
Oh, you
Skyrim.
play Mario 3D World, and
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
awesome. You love
Yeah,
that.
that'd
Or
be
you can race in Mario Kart 8. That's kind
Yeah.
of co-op, isn't it? I mean, it's
Heavy
competitive,
Rain's
but-
quite good to play together.
What
True.
are you talking about?
Well, you
Yeah,
can like,
it's
make the
true.
decisions
Yeah,
together
yeah.
and stuff.
Play
Like-
Until Dawn together.
That's good
That's
too.
a cracker.
The problem with
Yeah.
Until Dawn is good, but I think lots of the stuff you do it happens too quickly to have like input.
No.
A lot of it is like you're doing it so quick.
Yeah, but they're married now. They've got the same brain. Well, they've got to learn to think together.
The Telltale games are good for that as well. It's quick, but if you want to kind of team up and have someone in control of the pad who has like overriding power,
Yeah.
the other person's throwing stuff in there, they do work well as well.
No, I'm going into the zombie pit. See ya.
Yeah, deal with it. So that's anything else in the games? There must be. I can't think of any co-op games. There must be loads. What about same screen co-op? Halo. They got rid of it, didn't they? Gears 4's got same screen.
Can't believe they got rid of that. Halo rubbish. Tom, 9 out of 10.
I didn't talk about Gears 4 on this podcast, have I? Because I haven't been on. No. Well, it's really good. I mean, I don't think we need to. We go to VideogamerTV. There's a load of videos. It's Gears. I mean, it literally is Gears with new weapons and maps.
No graphics.
Well, I don't. Everyone's going nuts about the graphics now, which is fine. That's what
it's
people
a beta.
do. But I mean, I would argue this is probably in terms of the finish, alpha. I'd imagine. Like it looks really. It's got shadows. Like, you mustn't be able to look at that and go, "Okay, it's not finished."
Gears is known for its shadows.
It will look
Fact.
amazing. I would bet money that it is one of the best looking games of this year.
Shit, all
Gears
right.
of War 4. What else is coming out? No, yeah, definitely.
Why is it not
Stand
called
by
Gears of 4?
I don't know.
I'm
more intrigued about
no sense,
the
Buzz.
single player stuff.
It's called Gears of War.
It should be called Gears of War, but they replace every A in it with a 4.
Everyone.
100%.
I think the single player is going to be really good. I think they're going to
horror
do
game,
interesting
innit? Resident
things with
Evil
it.
game.
How
But in
do
the
you know
future.
that?
Because I saw it at E3.
They did, what? Gears?
It looked like
Yeah.
a horror game that they showed off, didn't it? It's all dark.
I don't know if they'll do that, but I think it will be good.
I think I'm going to be right.
Alex Lard, 1987. So he's what, 28? Is that right?
87.
28, 29.
29 as well. Well, look at that. There you go. If you could, it's what, 1987. I feel like he should be younger.
Unless
'cause
that's
I'm
not
old.
his birthday.
It's got to be. What
Could
else?
be the year Robocop came out, which it is.
That's true. If you could interview anyone in gaming, anyone, who would it be?
I've interviewed them all. They're all rubbish. I interviewed Kojima. He's just a man. It really fucks me off.
What are you hoping it's going to be a robot?
Yeah, exactly. Like the robot from Moonwalker. Yeah.
I don't think there's anyone in gaming that... I mean, it would have been Cliff Bleszinski as Miller, but fuck you, world. We did that. And that goes live on Tuesday on Miller Report's new YouTube channel. So, who else is in games? That's good. See, I wouldn't mind meeting Miyamoto and going, good games, mate. But I'm not that fussed. I don't feel like...
What's he
I
going to
need
say?
Yeah,
He's
right.
boring.
Yeah,
I reckon.
We're just going to be like, I'd rather meet Paul Heyman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that.
Or
That's-
Robert Evans.
Yeah, that's more interesting to me. Alice, anyone in
I
games?
don't know. It's weird because there aren't that many like auteurs.
You'd rather
that you
meet
can
like
point to.
Mario or something, wouldn't you? Like someone in
Yeah,
the
but
game.
idiots get so excited. They get photos with all these people, and you're like, Kojima, you're just a man. It annoys me. He's not doesn't float in with a fucking fire sword or whatever.
Who was that Japanese guy I had to interview at E3 who everyone was getting pictures with? I showed you it at the time. And at the end, the representative that he was with, would you like a picture? And I was like, no. But I couldn't say that, so I had to have my picture taken with this guy.
Yeah, that would have been
I
incredible.
think it was Kamiya, but...
Was it Kamiya?
I think so. I don't
Kamiya
want to
would
say
have
that,
loved it.
'cause
You
I
should have said, listen, Kamiya, I know you speak good enough English. Just get fucked, motherfucker. And he would literally fist bumped you.
Well, yeah.
And that'd have been
I
that.
don't want to say. It may not be him because I may. I don't want to slander the man. But I remember that. I was like, I don't want a picture with this dude.
Classic.
Tom?
Never.
Jimmy White.
He's well. I guess technically that is true. Yeah. he does
I knew you were
have a
going to
video
say he
game.
hasn't been in a game, but he has.
I mean, it does say
Yeah.
in gaming, so he was in a game.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
with snooker, wasn't it?
Yeah. But in terms of developers, I'd like to meet any developer as the Miller Report. There you go. Let's do a shout out through the
Yeah.
waves of the podcast. If you are a developer or someone of note, I don't know who listens to this, we would like to come and interview you in a stupid way. Get in touch at Simon Miller 316 at VideogamerCon or at the Miller Report.
I've got one,
Either's
Miller.
fine.
But just quickly, I'd like to interview Mikami to ask him about the claims made against him in an officially published Capcom book about various things that happened during the production of Resident Evil, which I won't say here, just in case, you know.
Yeah. Well, in that sense, if you're looking at it that way, if I could have carte blanche on my questions, oh my god, all of them.
Yeah.
How good with that? But Phil Spencer, can you imagine? Peter Moore,
But
talk about
Phil
Dead Space
Spencer-
4.
Phil Spencer, when he fucking body checked you on the way into the men's toilets.
That's a true story. Gamescom 2013
Exactly,
or 14.
13. Should have
Walked
upcut
into,
him.
me,
Really?
walked into me. I kind of did the whole put your arms back and look shocked and just walked on. I was like, you
Fucking
don't
amazing.
think
Phil
I'm safe.
Spencer
Should have
motherfucker.
decked him straight away.
I was a bit odd he went into a public... I sound amazed that Phil Spencer at a gaming convention went into a public toilet. I think it
Should have
mobbed.
done that thing from True Lies where he fucking grabs the guy's head and put in the urinal and says, like, cool off or whatever.
I,
Yeah,
know, I reckon you
filmed
could do
it.
that. I don't like even if I was at E3 or something. I reckon if I walked past Phil Spencer, I wouldn't go, That's Phil Spencer. Like I wouldn't
No,
turn
it's
my
more
head.
because he bumped into me and I was like, you motherfucker.
Fucker took you on, mate. Checked you.
He did check me. And I was like, well fat then too. Well, not fat, like powerlifting.
Cultivating mass.
Cultivating. Yeah, I was. I genuinely was. I'll show you the pic. It's funny. Ross McMahon at McMahon. I mean, this is crazy, right? Now that you've had... he's done... I'm going to read it, how he wrote it as well. Now that you have had... Start again. Now that you have had hands-on time with VR... The tech is amazing, but is it the future of gaming? Yes or no? There's a big space in the middle of the question. Is it the future of gaming?
Some of it is.
Yeah.
Not as it stands now, though.
What is the future then? Where does that?
You need to have that sort of thing, much smaller. I think to begin with AR stuff. So
Yeah.
I want a set of fucking Oliver People's horn rim glasses, stylish glasses, that's got like my fucking potassium levels in it. You know, or how long I can go walking before, after that, I can then eat a big, tasty, guilt-free.
Yeah.
Like stats, like a heads-up display. Not fucking...
But that's not really gaming, is it?
Isn't
That's
that-
more your
Well,
life.
That's an ARG of my life.
That was
I
like
like-
Google Glasses,
you know-
wasn't it? Didn't
Yeah,
they
but
do
better.
that?
Better than that
you know
shit.
that lad in Heavy Rain, and he's got them glasses,
And
and
his
then
eyes
it makes
start
his own.
blinking.
Yeah, and he
FBI
uses it so
man.
much that he
Burns
goes
wants
mental.
that. That's how he wants to go out.
Yeah,
Mate.
I'd take that.
Yeah.
But I would say VR is more the future of entertainment because my favourite thing or most exciting thing about it is sports. Like go be front row at a sports thing and
The
just like
boxing.
WrestleMania,
That'd be
whatever.
quite good,
Boxing, yeah, that's what I think is the best. You got a camera there and people just access the camera however it works via the internet. And you can just be there and watch it and pay a premium or whatever. I think that would be...
The screens have to get a lot better. They're not good enough.
Is the,
And
not the
it-
screen
well,
Oculus Rift good? That was really good, wasn't it? The Oculus
Vive's
Rift?
the
It
best,
looks-
but
it
it's
looks
still
like
screen
it, but
door.
it's
When you put the Vive
blurry
on,
and-
it does. When you first put it on, it's like putting on someone else's glasses for a second because you kind of go, "Ooh,"
Right, yeah,
it's a
that
little
makes
bit
sense.
like, but it's all right.
Okay. So not the future of games. I mean, it wasn't very overwhelmingly
Maybe,
positive.
but-
Not
like
the
it is
near
now.
future, I wouldn't say.
Yeah,
But
it's
I think
still great.
there's something there. It's not like
Yeah.
motion control, which I was a bit like, it's okay, but I think there's something in this.
But no, there's so much faff with it. Like once it's just like a headset that you can just put on, and you
Yeah.
don't have to have 3 inputs into a little box and then 3 inputs into the
Yeah, that's
computer and
insane.
all that kind of shit. Then, but at the moment,
that is
it's
mad.
just not practical for most people.
It's getting there, though. It's going the right way. No one hates it. I don't, anyone that has worn one of them and gone, don't like it. Maybe get nauseous, but that's a different
Yeah,
thing.
idiots.
Bill at Slayerming1. Sometimes you got to read these things. What do you want from software to do next? Close down. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. It's a joke. What do they do next? They cannot do another Dark Souls game.
Yeah, I want to
surely.
do something completely
They've
different.
got to, surely.
Should be Bloodborne 2, wouldn't it?
Will they do that?
Bloodborne.
It would, yeah, they
But that's
will.
just Dark Souls 5, essentially.
Yeah, but
like,
that's-
they're not...
All the people want that stuff, don't they?
So you think Bloodborne 2 is next?
Yeah.
I don't think they can get away with doing...
Just got my tickets to the FA Cup semi-final, didn't I? Sorry, that's of no use to
that?
anyone but me. Me!
No, who's in the match?
Manchester United versus Everton.
Oh, I see. Of course.
Why do you care about the FA Cup?
Shut up,
semi-final?
Thomas.
Because they're not going to win anything
How
else this
dare
year.
you? I'm excited about stuff now. VR's got me excited.
Wembley, right?
Yeah.
Lovely.
I don't think it should be at Wembley for the semi-finals.
Don't buy the fish and chips. £8. What the fuck?
I went there to watch the NFL twice, actually. And I went to buy a round, and I was like, can I get 4 beers, please, for the team? And I'm like, yeah, there'll be £22. And I literally went, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Spat at him.
And then I paid £22.
Of course you do. What else are you going to do? That's the whole bit. It went in the middle of nowhere, Wembley. You're not going to go outside and go buy some beer. Look, in maybe 5 years, you'll be able to put your VR headset on and just watch it from the comfort of your own room. And your beers will be free.
That's what I'm
'cause they'll be
excited
in the
about.
fridge.
I want to see Federer. But he'd be dead by then. But, you know what I'm saying.
So from software, Bloodborne 2 from Tom. I guess Bloodborne 2 from you as well, Burns. You love that game.
But I don't want it to be just straight up Bloodborne 2 or
Yeah.
Bloodborne. I want it to be... The reason why the original Dark Souls works so well from Demon Souls and Bloodborne from Dark Souls is it's a spiritual sequel. So it takes what you love about it and then goes, okay, it's a brand new environment.
Yeah.
And so there's less of the second guessing. There's less of the reminiscing about, oh, this reminds me of X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to take it and put it in another time period. Not fucking space lasers, that's shite.
Yep, not
Listen
space
to me,
lasers.
Miyazaki.
Right.
Listen, I'll shoot you, okay? But yeah, World War II.
Are we good?
The first World War... Dark Souls in the First World War.
That would be pretty good, first
There
of
you
all.
go.
It would
what
be
you-
terrible.
Is that what you
but-
want as well, Alice? That's
I
what
don't
you
want
want.
any more of these games,
Yeah,
man,
don't.
because I have to play them. You
And
see.
guys. Tom, I guess you can answer this one as time is racing against us. Matt Turner, Tom Ori, has just come on stage at E3. I like to think you've just ran on stage and announced the release of a video gamer handheld. That was going to sell well. What's its gimmick And what's its price? Don't worry about what text got into it.
What's
Like the watch that
gimmick?
tells you when you're going to die. How does it work? Just pop it on your wrist. What is this gimmick and price?
There'd be like, surely there'd be like a Miller wrestling mini game on it where you like wrestle game devs.
I would enjoy that.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else would, but I'd have a great time with it.
It'd be very expensive.
$1,000?
At least.
Right,
Just
it's
make as much
£1,000.
money
And what
as
does
you
it do?
can.
What's its gimmick?
Not much.
Not right.
Right,
Okay.
Oh, it's an Apple Watch.
Promises a lot of stuff and then kind of delivers some of it.
I shouldn't have said that.
All right.
I've got a good one. It's a handheld, which plays. It has pairs built in, like Alex Kidd on Master System 2, and the only other game available for it is an absolute home console perfect version of FIFA, and it's free, so it's delivered to everyone who's got this.
How are you going to make money off this?
Well, it's not really about money,
Okay.
because I'll be in jail. as
Right.
you'll
Well,
find
that's
out in
true.
a
Yeah,
second.
that's a very good point. Yeah.
So when you load FIFA, the unit fucking explodes in your hands and kills you instantly.
right. So
for-
it's a murder
for-
weapon.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And think how many people think how many YouTubers you take out.
Look how many like,
Honestly,
young teens
YouTube
are
would go
gone.
down.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, shit.
Sure, where's content
You're like
gone?
Terminator 2. So yeah, that's. I'm not really sure on the supply side how we'll do it, but I think it's possible.
Okay. You got anything, Alice? I mean, I got nothing.
No, but I should say that because my husband listens to this and he'll be cross.
Oh,
I
right.
dissed the Apple Watch. The Apple Watch isn't that bad, and I'm wearing one right now.
You are. It was a good zing, though.
Yeah,
I
thanks.
enjoyed it. If we're going to diss any Apple product, it would be the pencil. £100 for a pencil. Never forget. Pencil 80p from Smith's. Or anywhere. The man. Carl Stevens, I'm going to answer this one, and then we'll move on very quickly. Batman Arkham Next Gen Remaster. We've heard about it several times now. Real or total bollocks? And will you buy? I can tell you with 100% certainty, it's real.
Did
Move
you
on.
just break an NDA?
No, I haven't signed nothing. People told me this a long time
like
ago.
Like that a lot.
I
Nice.
knew about this. I told people. You remember this?
I know this.
Yeah, I told people in this office that about a year ago.
Oh yeah, you
Ages
did.
ago.
Now,
You
NDA video gamer listeners, just don't keep. We'll keep it quiet. No, we can tell you this stuff. But I didn't sign. No, what am I getting worried about? Someone tipped me off.
Exactly.
What am I getting mad
Exactly.
about? Last question, Peter at Lord Landshark, like he's living in the 19th
That's pretty
century. You find yourself in the year 2000. Pulp. How do you use your knowledge of the future to change the games industry for the better?
Alex Ferguson gets on the test. So he's still going right now.
If I go back to 2000, I'm doing nothing with games. I'm going to go do something relevant and important.
Attractive
Don't worry about
videos.
Yes.
Right, actually, you go on YouTube and start making tracking
Yeah,
videos.
oh my God, yeah.
And playing FIFA. There you go. That's what we can do. Was
I-
YouTube around in 2000? It probably wasn't,
No,
was it? No.
2005.
2000. Oh no, it definitely was. 2000. It was YouTube was starting when I was at university. So
Obvious
it
lies.
Yeah, I
was,
would-
it was early 2000s.
I would take the handle PewDiePie.
Yeah,
Yeah. There you
exactly.
go.
I don't know what would
And also stop myself from doing an English degree. Be like,
Why?
Alice, it has no practical applications in real life.
That's not, I did an English degree. Look where I am now.
Well, exactly. What,
it's
like,
true,
are
yeah,
you
I
honestly
did
going to
nothing.
tell people that listen to this that an English degree is?
I got my first job because of my English degree, though. So, depends how you look at it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I didn't get any jobs because
That
of my
might be
English
a
degree.
lie. I didn't go to work for a year after I left university.
No, well,
Just sat around
that
playing
happens.
PES, didn't I? PES 6 just come out. I'm not going to work. You're joking.
I'd stop motion control. That's what I'd do if I went back to year 2000. I'd somehow kill that pattern and never let it happen.
PlayStation Move.
And
Oh, yeah.
and Connect and Wii. I mean, it was all right for a while, but
Yeah.
it got ruined. Okay. Well, that is the end of the Video Gamer UK podcast. I want to thank everyone who listened for listening. And remember, we were sponsored by Trey Bro this week. Go check them out. Go see if it's something you can get the most out of, and I'm sure it is. Go to VideogamerTV.com, VideogamerTV, and then all that kind of stuff. But you're the only person whose Twitter wasn't, organically read out on the podcast. At the Steve Bernio.
Yeah, it's at the Steve
You can talk to
Bernio.
Steve.
I'm happy now. Does my face turn? Because it's British summertime.
That's a Twitter face turn. You can go talk to him about that.
So Big Tasty's on sale. It's a very good time at the moment for me.
Good.
I'll probably get hit by a car later on, but
Well,
yeah.
at least you went out on a high. That's the most important
He'd
thing.
technically be on a low, wouldn't he?
Oh, that's true.
Depending if you went under it or no. Let's not
That's
talk
true,
about
that's
that.
true. If you are listening to us on iTunes and you fancy giving us 5 stars and a review, why not? We go up the rankings, and that means more people can come join the video gamer community, which would be just lovely. If you'd like more of this, Patreon members who pay $5 or more are going to get a little bit more. Simple as that. But thank you for listening. My name is Simon Miller, and I was joined by Alice Bell,
Hello.
Stephen Burns,
Bye.
and Tom Mazzori.
Right.
Hello, Video Gamer Community Clubbers. Clumbers? That's
Clumbers?
their new name now. Welcome, Clumbers.
No,
to
they're chuffsters, apparently.
They are chuffsters. I
Self-named
always
thing.
forget to mention that on the damn main part of the podcast, that you can go to the Facebook group called Chuffsters. Just type in Video Gamer Chuffsters on Facebook, and we will greet you into our world. You can just chat about all manner of stuff, and we'll get in touch, and we can have a lovely chat. But welcome to your special part of the podcast. You heard the door close there. It's because we're joined by David Scammell.
Sorry,
Why are you sorry?
because I slammed the door.
That's all right.
Are
You
you
got to
all right?
close it. It's fine.
Am I all right?
How's your throat, Dave? I know you're ill.
It's not good, actually. You can probably hear it.
Sound a bit like Graham Torrington from Late Night Love.
Yeah,
That's no
well,
bad thing.
I
Yeah.
thought it was more like Barry White. But then when I suggested this, I got laughed out of the
not very
office.
much.
No,
like Barry White.
his voice is so incredibly low. I think you'd have to. No, I don't think that works.
No.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Oh, right,
We'd all like
okay.
to be Barry White.
Yeah, it would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it
there was a
wouldn't,
song
though.
about
It
him
wouldn't
as
suit
well,
you
wasn't
at all.
there?
Was there?
Wasn't it Barry White?
Are you thinking of Marvin Gaye?
Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on.
Yeah.
No.
That's
Oh, it
Barry
doesn't matter.
White.
Anyway, let's move on from Barry White.
Well,
Hello.
What we can talk about anything we want. We have open
Oh.
season here. We don't really have a plan as of yet. I mean, what's going on in the world of games? Like, we can talk about the new PlayStation. We didn't touch upon that in the main podcast.
Neo.
Everyone's getting mad about.
Did you not talk about it at all?
I don't think we
Oh,
should. I don't
dear.
think we should give Dave the opportunity to do any more Neo puns.
That you do
Well,
Matrix puns?
Well, no. Have I been doing puns? Not
well,
sure
it
I've been
weren't really
doing puns.
It was just inserting the word Neo into existing games.
Oh, yes.
Give me
like-
one of them at
like
least.
Until Dawnio or Bloodborneo or...
Bloodborne, yeah. This just sounds like Steve Burns' Twitter handle. That's the only problem.
Yeah,
That's why
the
I'm getting
Steve
confused.
Borneo. Steve Bernio.
Everyone's
Yeah.
mad though. Everyone's really mad about the potential upgraded iteration of a PS4 halfway through
Well,
its cycle.
I think they're calming down a little bit. I
Okay.
think they've seen that they'll still be able to play their PlayStation 4 games.
So some people genuinely thought this was a whole new dawn almost. Like,
well, you know, it is the internet. They'll believe whatever they want to believe, won't they?
that's true.
I think now there's some sort of, I mean, not an official explanation, but a kind of, everyone seems to have seen these holy documents that are going around.
Oh, I haven't seen them. What's the
No,
document?
I haven't seen them
Oh,
either,
okay.
but
But lots of people have.
Yeah.
What are they saying? What is
Saying
what's
that
the crunch of them?
it looks about twice as powerful, doesn't it?
is that what
Roughly.
do we,
Twice as powerful.
do we put a
Yeah.
figure on it?
Very
Tom?
powerful. That's like super. The PS4 is pretty powerful. Gear.
I don't really know my teraflops
It looks
from my
like,
megabots,
It looks
so I
like
don't really.
it's about like 4 point something teraflops or whatever, which is
Is teraflop a real thing?
Yeah,
Teraflop is
Yeah.
a
thing.
legitimate.
That's like if you're into
Like
GPUs,
Boswellics.
if you really like GPUs, you can know about teraflops.
Okay. Right. Fine.
And it is the teraflops are better.
And your CUs,
Yeah, it's got more CUs.
I'll see you at the
But
end
that-
of the year for a new PlayStation.
That's so bad.
How much would you be willing to pay for it, though, Dave?
That's the real question, isn't it?
As
Like-
much as it is, because you know
Really?
me.
Well,
Tom.
it's
What if it's
£500.
£600?
Yeah, there you go.
If it's 500 quid,
500
Yeah.
quid with one controller and no games.
I'd still pay it.
What if it was
500?
£600?
Yeah, but I'm an idiot. I'm not
But
representative
why,
of the.
why don't you trade in your PS4
Well, I might
now
do.
before? Because
Oh,
when
well,
that
not
happens,
now.
No, but you got to do it soon, otherwise the price will drop.
Well, this is actually
Just
something
use
I've
it.
been given thought to, right? Because in the past, when old consoles would, when new consoles would come out, rather, I wouldn't trade my old one. But if an upgraded PS4 is coming out,
There's no need to
what
keep your old
reason
one.
do I have to keep
No.
the existing one? So it might be the first generation where I actually do get rid of my.
I don't have a problem with it at all. I don't see what the issue is. As long-
I can understand the issue because people associate console hardware with it'll give me 5, 6, 7 years of a.
But he still does. The PS4 is still going to be supported. So that's.
But
the-
I do get it as well because you get in, like, you know, I'm an idiot as well, and I'm in that mindset where something new comes out, I have to get the new one
Like
because
an
the
Apple
old
one.
one
but
is
that's
going
why
to
they're
become
doing
obsolete.
it. Though. You're the reason they're doing it.
Yeah,
in the
exactly.
First place.
So I'm not. I've just spent fucking. And I know I don't have to spend 500 quid to get anyone, but I feel like I do.
I think if it plays the same games, which apparently it does, then there's nothing.
Yeah,
there's
but the
nothing wrong with it,
Xbox
right?
360 used to play the same games. You know.
A different world. That was 10 years ago, pretty much. We now live in a brand new world.
There comes a point though. When will the current PS4 become obsolete? If this is the cycle they're doing, are there going to be generations as such going forward? Is this upgrade
Surely going
considered
to
a
be
generation?
like they've got to have some kind of like 3-year system, I reckon. So your system lasts for 6 years. I think that's fair.
Also, I think it all depends on how well this one does. If this is an overwhelming success, then no one can moan if they then just shift that way because it's like,
Yeah.
well, we did it and it worked. So obviously there's a demand for it. If there's no demand, then yeah, you've got to balance that out a bit.
What will be interesting will be how Microsoft respond to this or what their plans are.
Isn't the rumours that they're doing one as well?
Well, they was where how it all started.
Yeah.
They came out and said that they
That's directly from
basically said they were
Microsoft as
doing
well.
one. But Phil Spencer has kind of suggested that it won't be enough. He doesn't like the term Xbox 1.5. It won't be a small upgrade. He's used the term significant.
I don't think the PS. I
substantial.
don't think
want
Neo
something like that.
looks like a small upgrade. I think it's not as big an upgrade as you might get from a whole generation, but it is significant. I think.
But what Spencer seems to be saying kind of points towards a new generation. almost.
Maybe. I think Xbox has to be. They have to come out with something much more powerful. That has to be significantly better so that people
they could get away
buy
with
it
it more.
over a PS 4.5.
Because the Xbox One is not doing as well as they had hoped.
Yeah.
So they said, right, we're starting again. And everyone go, that makes sense. Not
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah.
You'd probably be a bit annoyed, but I think given the negative connotations towards Xbox at the moment from a lot of people would be like, screw it.
Is it towards Xbox or is it towards Xbox One?
Well, kind of hand in hand now, aren't they, though? Hasn't that like tarnished?
I don't know.
Do you think people will suddenly switch back to liking it
If
as
they
soon
can-
as if say they come out with something really good? Do
Yeah.
you think people will go, actually, I like Xbox again?
Well, Sony did that, didn't they, with the PS4?
I think so. PlayStation 4, even PS3 is considered a failure, but it still did well overall. In
I
the
think
end, it
if
did
Microsoft
quite well.
follow exactly the same as what Sony did with PS4 and would like drop Xbox One, remember how much you loved your Xbox 360. This is what we're doing with the new Xbox. People would switch back immediately, I think, because that's kind of what happened with PS4. They kind of used nostalgia with the PS2 to push that when that first came out. So I don't know,
I will buy one of them, I reckon. But it might be an NX. Who knows? That might be this year as well.
Well,
I would rather buy an NX over an upgraded console any day of the week.
I think a lot
yeah.
of people would, right?
Yeah, that's new. That's like
Yeah.
completely. That's not just iterations. That's like a whole brand new thing to sink your teeth
Be
into.
interesting to because there's still a lot of confusion. Obviously, no one has said anything officially. It's all based on reports. But I've had some tweets from people who seem to think it's just linked to 4K gaming and VR stuff, and
Yeah, that makes
won't
sense.
offer any benefits to like 1080p games, which I'm pretty sure it will. Like this, it's going to essentially be. Breaking it down, it sounds like it might be the difference between a PC game running at medium and high, that sort of thing, but in
Yeah.
a PS4 environment.
It's a crazy world we live in. When
Yeah.
games consoles are doing that. Like, what does your PS4 look like? Well,
Yeah.
it looks better than yours.
So, be an interesting E3 because.
Well, that's what they're focused on. Surely, this is going to be. If you're going to announce that, the time to do it is in less than 6 weeks'
Yeah,
time.
but like if you've
God, is it really that soon?
I'm very longer actually, about 8 weeks.
if it's positioned as an upgrade, like Apple's got away with it because when they announce it, the product is out within weeks.
Yeah.
Whereas, is that going to happen here? Are they going to announce it at E3 and it's going to be out in October? And there's a 4 or 5 month gap.
Do you think that's too long? Do you think it needs to be announced in June and out
Well, surely the
August?
sales between that will just completely die, wouldn't they?
That's
Unless
true, good
unless
point,
they
yeah.
come out and go, right, yes, we've got a new PS4, PS4.5, whatever they call it, coming in October. However, in the meantime, PS4 is dropping $75, $100, and it's going to be compatible with all the games that are still coming out with this new console. So you're not losing anything, it's just cheaper until the next one comes out. That I can see them doing, and that might not affect sales too much, but
Yeah.
it's whether, I don't know, it's just... It's all just so up in the air, isn't it? There's no one knows what's going on, and I find it interesting that Microsoft were, well, they're the only ones so far to actually talk about it on the record.
Yeah.
Yet none of their stuff has actually leaked. We don't know what's happening with.
Maybe that's why. Maybe
Sony have never said that they're doing an upgrade or anything like that.
Sony
but-
are leaky as fuck. though,
well,
like-
well,
Do you think it's like purpose leaks, or you think that does
I-
happen?
I-
It does
I-
happen a lot. It's
I
not-
know someone who, because I asked, so I got a friend, and he was like, "No, they're just like shit. Like the security's just really just that bad, isn't it?"
Obviously, because I mean, Activision maybe not leaked some stuff for Call of Duty a few years ago. Adamantly denied it. But
Pardon?
someone once told me that that was definitely an Activision.
oh, I see.
Activision leak.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did I
okay.
tell you about a story?
I think you might have done.
Yeah, I think it was
Can't
long. It was
remember but
like
it does
3 or
ring
4
some
years ago
bells.
now. So you're probably in one ear or the other. But
Yeah.
I think maybe if you announce something up front, no one needs to go digging because you know.
Yeah.
Why do you need to go digging
Well,
for
I think-
Xbox stuff? You already know. They told you.
Microsoft will be paying very close attention to the reaction to this
Yep, they
and
got to.
working out how they're going to play their PR plan over the next couple of months. I
Yeah.
think. Just like what Sony did when Microsoft announced Xbox One. I know Sony announced PS4 first, but every time it came to these kind of key decisions around DRM and stuff like that, they'd let Microsoft go first. And then they remember the shoe video. It's like, this is how you play pre-owned PS4 games.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Opening a disc. Like they wait, and it worked for them in that instance. So this time, it sounds as if it might be on the other, So I don't know. It's interesting. I think E3 could be fun.
It's going to be very war, because if you get Nintendo announcing NX, and you get Microsoft announcing Xbox, we'll call it 1.5, and then PS doing the same, then all of a sudden you're like, oh man, now you've got 3 people. It's like the old days. We're all going head to head with all completely different things, and we want to see what's going to work.
There's a lot of NX rumours as well at the moment.
I don't know about them, what are they?
Well, I don't know exactly whether I think it's that they're remastering some of the Wii U titles to work on NX. So like versions of Smash Brothers and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know whether that means that it'll be backwards compatible if they're new versions for the NX. Again, this is all rumours. I haven't heard these. This is from other people who've said these. So I think going forwards, I'm surprised it didn't happen with this gen, but it seems to be the case of existing libraries are going to be key to the next generation of system, like existing game libraries, making sure you can play your current
There's
game.
always a new thing.
I can't believe they left that out of the current gen. I can't believe you can't play PS3 games on PS4, on Xbox 360 games on Xbox One. I know you can now, some of them, but I can't believe that wasn't in there from the beginning, especially with the digital libraries. That's how like iTunes and all that sort of stuff grows, right? It's just there.
That's the problem with games entirely, is that they don't embrace music, they don't embrace film, they don't embrace TV, they do their own weird, wacky
It's
shit.
a completely different model to every other form of media, and it's just a really weird... It sounds like now they might finally be wising up to...
Well, I can't believe we're in 2016 and digital downloads are still an absolute nightmare. I understand that a game is 100 times bigger than a music file, but it's more expensive and it's difficult to get, and it's actively pushing you away from it. It's like, what the fucking 16?
But then you look at Steam, which has grown massively as a monopoly almost on the market.
They have like sales every 5 minutes where you can pick up good games for like £2.
You look at the big like Sony and Microsoft who want to obviously want a slice of that, but they don't do anything.
They don't want to give up retail. That's why they don't want to give up their glorious overheads that retail can make them. I mean, why the fuck is a digital game the same as a retail game? It doesn't make any sense.
Not more.
Well, it's absolutely illogical. That doesn't make any sense. The whole point is you don't have to pay for the box or the shipping or any of that kind of stuff.
People still buy retail though, because you can take that back. Then you can swap it.
Well, that's why Microsoft's original plan was really good, and then the internet killed it. Killed the digital plan.
We can't say that out loud, Simon.
I said it at the time. I wrote an article on VideogamerTV.
I agree. And I think if they'd actually stuck with that, they'd actually be doing a lot better than they are now.
I said that at the time. Luckily, at the time, I didn't really have any kind of like no
platform.
Well, no real platform. We ignored it. I do it again now, and I stand by it. They should start. The original Xbox One was fucking great, and they ruined it.
I think the misconceptions around Kinect hurt them a lot.
That was
from a casual audience as well. But
Kinect was a mistake all round. I think.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the tech demo for new Kinect and going, really? I don't think this is going to do what.
Imagine if that wasn't in the box. Imagine if that cost wasn't in there. And they could just put
£100 off, right?
Invest in a GPU. How different would that console be right now? I don't know.
This is how we
learn.
Weird
decisions.
We learn from our mistakes.
This has been quite serious.
I know.
I know. For the Patreon. Sorry, patrons.
Butts.
You must be well bored.
Like rhinos with big butts. That is the end of this. I'm sorry this whole podcast was a bit short, but today has been very, very busy and people are away and all this kind of stuff. So don't worry. Everything's okay.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. Alice, thanks for hanging around.
That's all right.
Dave, thanks for coming in.
That's all right. I'm going to go and cough or something.
That's all right. Tom left halfway through that discussion.
Yeah, in case you didn't know.
He just walked out. He's not dead. He's not there. We're looking at his empty chair right now. But as always, thank you very much for being patrons. If you didn't see all the stuff that went up today, just poll on to VideogamerTV and please support all our new endeavours. Should you choose? Don't worry if you don't want to. That's cool too. But if you do, that's also great.
Oh, and very quickly, it was lovely to see some of these
the
people.
Community Club
the Community Club. It was really fun.
Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for playing games and eating odd pizza with us.
Yeah, there's a lot left over.
There's a lot left. It's like, when you have a house party and you vastly overestimate how much stuff you need. That's what happened to us, but as a company. So
did anyone eat the pizza?
I did.
We had good?
It wasn't as bad as I was thinking it might be.
We came in on Monday and we had three full pizzas left and also about 6 bottles of pop.
Well, there's still pop still there.
And some beer. That thing where someone brought beer and they didn't drink all of it.
Shit, man. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. I just remember you drove boats.
When it turned up, I thought,
Michael.
I could get through this, and I felt guilty. I thought, no, this is for all the people that have turned up tonight. And it got to the end of the night, I'm like, I could have eaten bloody loads of this.
Someone gave me a really shitty film as well. I'm so excited to watch it. I haven't yet.
I didn't see what it was.
It's called. It's written, directed by and starring MC Kung Fu, and it's called City Dragon. I'm so excited to watch it. On the back of the box, it lists scene selection as a special feature.
Well, there you go. You know what you're getting.
I know, right?
You know what you're getting. Thank you very much for everyone that came. Thank you for everyone who listens to this, and thank you to everyone who donates some cash. We'll get back in a week. Cheers.
Bye.